pretty much people will the two main people that have recorded matches for me are Burb, but the one person that's helped me out more than anything is Biff Andreas. And pretty much anytime somebody wants to record a match for me, they will. I've had a few shows that I've actually pre-booked and all that, but for the most part, it's pretty much a match is recorded for me, then I put it up, and all of the people in DJW for the most part are just joke characters. There are a lot of joke characters that Burb has created. There's also a few original CAWs in it. But it's just something. I mean, it's truly one of those leagues that it doesn't take itself seriously. I barely even consider it. When I started, I barely considered it a league. Now I have several hundred subscribers, which to me is ridiculous because I don't know how several hundred people would agree to subscribe to something like this. But I mean, like I said, it's just one of those things that it's the true definition of a joke league. Because on no level does it take itself seriously from the roster to. I mean, to give you an example, I mean, one of the I only have I guess 3 championships in the league. There's the World Championship, the Tag Team Championships, which I actually call the Damage Gauge titles, and then the mid card title, I guess you would call it, is actually called the DJW Blowjob Championship. So
yeah. It's all about fun, though.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's fun to make and it's fun to book. I guess if I wanted to shill anything, I have actually spoken to Biff because, again, he's my main match creator. He's the guy who will record a lot of the stuff for me. But I talked to him, and we've actually been in the works with booking what would be which would be DJW's 4th show. I'm not going to get too much into it because we don't have a lot of details, but I will say that the main event will be some sort of Royal Rumble type match. So,
and maybe have Smokey in it.
You know what? If you want Smokey to be in it, then I'll talk to Biff and I'll see what we can do. I mean, I can make it happen.
Do it.
So yeah, Smokey can definitely be a part of it. But yeah, it'll be some sort of Royal Rumble. The prize, I'm not gonna say on this what the prize is, but it's definitely something that I think is going to be really fun to do.
Hey, that'd be a hell of an opportunity for me to debut in it, don't you think?
What's that?
I said that'd be a hell of an opportunity to debut in it, don't you think?
I mean, if you want to be in DJW, you can definitely be in DJW. I mean, I'm not going to, obviously, it's nothing like, serious booking. I mean, we actually are part of the Vivianverse, but as a developmental league. So that's kind of, that's the level of seriousness that I take it as. I mean, it's treated as a developmental league. We've actually had one superstar graduate and move into an actual Vivianverse league. Burb brought up Alex Riley to be in New WWE, and so he graduated from DJW. But yeah, I mean, you want to be in it,
But you know what? I'm a new WWE Hall of Famer, so
there you go.
I was in it before the league even started. So technically, I was in it before.
Well, there you go. No, but I'm saying, like, you want to be in DJW, you can. Obviously, I'm not gonna just straight up make fun of you because I respect you too much to do that. But it'll be one of those things. You might feud. I mean, we'll figure out a place for you, and it'll just be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, that's just what I am now. I got my perspective all over call, so I don't care what I do. Because my perspective is always out there. Everybody knows me, so I'm all about just getting my name out there, keeping my name out there, keeping me irrelevant. Right. So
there you go.
It's all about that.
I can officially say that if you request to be a part of the roster, then you'll make your debut in that match. So it is official, I guess.
And we are official on the Smoke Room. You heard it here. Official. You heard it here from Horn. But yeah, okay, we will move on.
Okay.
We're gonna continue this in the end of it. What do you think about TNA in the improvements or the bad stuff that's going on there?
I'll be honest with you. I don't regularly watch TNA. Over the past year, I probably watched a total of like 4 episodes. I do know who the current champions are. I think that it's cool that I'll say that I think it's cool that they've I think both members of Beer Money are now in the main event. One of them is the world champion. I can't tell you. I think it's Rude. Is that right?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, well that's.
I was just asking you because.
Right. So yeah, so I'm saying it's cool that they've started to bring those guys in as main eventers and all that, but I think that there's just there's so much that still needs to be done, and a lot of the booking still isn't there. But I'll say that when I decided to stop watching it, which was when Hogan debuted. Almost, I think it was about 2 years. I think it was actually 2 years ago or something like that.
About 2 years ago.
Yeah. What I saw last time I saw it definitely was a better product than what it was then. But to try to say that it's competition for WWE is still, it's nowhere near that. It could be worse, but it could definitely be a lot better.
Who do you think is the top superstar for TNA? Who do you think they got need to?
The guy that if it were me, I'd put him in the main event.
Yeah.
Well, the last time I saw it, I was a really big fan of the Pope, and so I maybe wouldn't necessarily hotshot him to the world title like what TNA likes to do, but I definitely think that whatever he's doing, if it's not involved with some sort of championship, it should be there. And, it should be that way. Maybe he should at least be lower upper mid card to where he's also feuding with main eventers. But yeah, he was definitely one guy that I was a fan of when I did watch it.
Yeah. That whole stuff with Devon is kind of bullshit. I don't watch TNA. I don't watch it at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, right. I probably watch it less than you do, which
I hear stuff that WDF and Josh tells me. So.
Right, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I feed off what they say.
Right.
And Zach. But all right, what do you think colleagues nowadays need to learn to make the leagues better? Because there's a lot of leagues out, how most leagues do. They put the leagues out,
right,
and they make it complete crappy. But what do you think leagues like CCL? You said CCL has some problems, but what do you think other leagues need to do to improve themselves?
I think that some of the big things. The obvious one, which I think nowadays is become kind of common knowledge, but have the equipment to record your matches. The right equipment, so that, but I think the most important thing is make sure that when you book that it's something that if it's not something that you would want to see on TV, then I don't think it's something that people would want to see on YouTube. Now, I'm not in any way saying that CAW and WWE programming are on the same level, because there's definitely a difference there. CAW, people are playing a video game and putting it on YouTube, so there's definitely a difference. But try in your mindset, I guess you have to say if this isn't something in terms of the quality of the storylines and the matches that you would see on TV. If it were, real life people, then, I think people should really strive to get there. And even if you don't have any subscribers yet, even if you're brand new and you have 5 people that watch it, make sure that those 5 people see the absolute best quality, content that you can make, because, the way that people get, the way shows like WEDF become as popular as they are is because, they do that, and then those 5 people go and tell 5 more people, and then so on and so forth, and then you end up having he has over 5,000 subscribers at this point, and so that's how I think just tell a good story and have great matches. I mean, it's really I don't think it's really complicated. I think it's just something that people just become. I think people just become lazy about it. But I think for me, when it comes to wrestling, I always think that the way that things are booked and the storytelling is the most important. So I guess for me that would be the number one.
Yeah. My next question. That's a good answer, though. I appreciate that. But my next question is, what do you think about new TNA and all the future leagues coming up after SMF is it's gone now?
Right.
So, what do you think about all them leagues coming up and what you think they gonna be?
I mean, I think that. I mean, you mentioned new TNA as a prime example, but I think that it's great that leagues like that are coming up. I think that in terms of the production value, I think Josh puts a lot of hard work into what he does, and from what I can tell, he's definitely getting the recognition that he deserves. So I think that for league, for CAW to still, I think because I think SMF did a lot for bringing people in and all that, but for people to stick around even after SMF for one reason or another, I think it's a good thing. And for leagues like New TNA and WEDF and New WWE, these leagues that have solid fan bases to still exist and to continue what's going on. I think that that's a cool thing.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think? What league is under the clouds during this time? What is the most underrated call federation you could think of at the moment, besides your own?
Well, honestly, mine's not underrated at all.
Yeah,
if
that's
anything, I'd say mine's overrated because people keep coming, people keep subscribing to check it out, and I'm probably disappointing them on a daily basis. But I'd say that at the moment, probably honestly, from what I've seen, because I'm not one of those people that sees everything and knows about all these leagues, but honestly, I think that. From the little bit that he's done, I honestly would vote New TNA as the most at the moment because, while he does have a lot of people watching and he hasn't produced a lot, what he has produced has been ridiculous. I mean, for him to just be in it and to produce what he's produced, when he can get rolling to a point where he is producing on a regular basis. There's no telling what he's able to come up with.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say right now, my condolences to Josh. His I think his brother just died yesterday.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah. So I just want to wish him the best, and I hope he gets over it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think it's for I can't pronounce it. Paranoia, whatever. But I just want to wish him the best.
Wow.
Live. So, rest in peace, Chris. But I just want to pay that respects real quick. Would you? I didn't know if you knew.
I didn't. I had no idea. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I'll put him in my prayers and everything, and
Yeah, I know how that feels. I lost a lot of my life, so I know how that feels, and I wish him the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, we're gonna have to move on. That's sad, but we're gonna have to move on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what is your advice to the worst league? No, I didn't say that. What are you? Hang on, I'll figure it out in a second. This is how the smoke room goes. We all in the room with smoke here. So, yeah, hang on a second. We've been going on for a while now. What is your advice to people trying to put out a call league, but are scared to put out a call league because of all these negative people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Honestly, I think because and I do have an example of this, but I think even if what you do isn't the best quality in the beginning, as long as you can do two things, you're going to actually earn respect from people. And those two things are always look for a way to improve yourself and be able to take constructive criticism. Because back in, I think, the early parts of 2011, or maybe even before that, there was a league called WCW, done by a guy named CB Carter. And he was actually
A hole in the
one of his, what's that?
A hole in the ceiling.
Yeah, there you go. But one of his videos for his league was actually used for UMAD, which was a popular, New Legacy Inc. and all them. But after that came out, he actually took the criticism constructively, and he went out to he went out of his way to ask people like what can he do to improve, and because of those two little things, he earned the respect of everybody. And so, even if in the beginning people aren't necessarily a fan of what you do, as long as you take the criticism constructively and look to improve yourself, people are going to notice you and respect you for that. So, I mean, and it sounds simple because it is. Those two little steps are all it has to take. For people to to turn around and look at you differently.
Yeah, that's pretty important. Okay, my very last question is the most important.
Okay.
Okay, me and you've been called superstars for how long? A few years now.
Yeah.
I've been a little bit more than you.
A lot more, but
yeah. But what do you think is it's carrying on to that last question you just answered. But what do you think is important? Politics or actual action? Because it seemed over the past couple of years, politics, over the forums was in control a little bit. But how do you think of call superstars now from when there was in 2000 and when you started?
Well, I think the big thing that I think is more apparent now that I am a part of, I guess now that I am an actual, CAW owner that has, that's in multiple leagues, to be successful, you have to trust the owner and with what they're doing, and you put your trust in the owner, but at the same time, you have to then, because with terms of what I do with Icorn, like I really only have one rule with Icorn, and that's based on his personal experience. Like I request that he not be in tag teams, and so as long as people respect that decision, I pretty much will trust anybody with anything, and as long as you just trust that, because you're not gonna let somebody, if somebody asks you to be in their league, and maybe you don't know them or you don't know the league, maybe you won't accept it right away. But as long as you trust, 100% what the person's doing with your CAW, that's really, then there really isn't anything to worry about. And that's where the point that I've gotten to. I'm at a point now where, in terms of the individual booking, like, people will think that I book what my CAW does, which I absolutely don't, because I wouldn't know what to book if my life depended on it. But, the owners of CAW leagues, for the most part, will come to me and say, here's what I have planned, and then, I won't, I'll be like, that sounds good or whatever, but, I don't book it, They book everything, and then I'm a spectator,
Yeah.
I just happen to have, my name just happens to be on one of the characters in their league.
Yeah. What are your perspective? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
But what is your perspective on calls like Brent Harvenator, is Chris Alexander, Calex, and all them other new calls that coming out nowadays. What do you think they need to do to get themselves recognized in call?
Honestly, before you try to get yourself recognized as a CAW owner or try to get yourself into leagues, I mean, and maybe this is sort of a politicking thing, but I mean, you have to be friends with the people that own those leagues in a
Yeah.
way, or because I mean, for me, it took. I mean, and it wasn't like, I mean, I became friends with Frank Dog, who owns new WEDF, and
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to get into his league. I was just friends with him, and then because of that friendship, things came together, and I became a part of his league. And then, once you become a part of one big league, and then that's all it takes for people to notice you. But it's just don't look at yourself as an owner of a CAW trying to get out there. Just enter this new world that you've noticed and make yourself a part of it. And then perhaps I mean, it's obviously nobody. No, I don't think anybody else is going to get as lucky as me and just find their way into WEDF like that. But
Yeah, I feel you there.
But there are other leagues out there. There are a lot of other leagues out there, and so you become friends with somebody that is looking for somebody, and then wait for them to ask you, because they are going to ask you. I mean, they're going to know you own a CAW at some point, and the offer might come. So, and that's pretty much all it is. I think the problem with a lot of people is that they think that on day one they could come in and say, "Hey, I want my CAW in," and even the smallest league isn't going to accept that. So,
the V stream. Bandwagon bastard. I know. I'm just saying that because I know the truth.
but yeah, so
I worked my way from the bottom back to the top, to the bottom back to the top, to the bottom back to the top. So
right.
Yeah, I know what to promote, and I know who to make friends with and who to not. And I recognize Frank Dog, WDF owner, whatever. Me and him patch things up. Me and you patch things up. Josh and me patch things up. So if I'm man enough to apologize for my problems in the past, then anybody should apologize for the past. Even if there was lies about me, I'm gonna be real 100% no matter what.
Right.
Yeah. And I appreciate you coming on here, homie. I really do. I didn't expect you to come on here, to be honest with you. I just got home and I was just like, fuck it, let's do an interview.
Yeah, so.
Do you have any other words to say, like, promoting wise?
No, I don't. I think I've pretty much said everything that I can say.
Tell your channel.
It's youtube.com/HomerJ, which is JAY 5012.
Alright, but this is Smokey from the Smoke Room. Hopefully, this next interview, I'm going to get J2222 on this interview.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be really interesting. You know it is.
I know. Oh, trust me. I know.
So, everybody stay tuned. This is Smokey. I appreciate y'all. If y'all actually stay tuned for this interview all the way through, that'd be a miracle. But, peace. What do you think about that?